Thank you for staying with us. And it's Monday morning. And Motivation today, we're being joined by Fola-Daniel Adelesi, an inspirational speaker, a trained communication expert. He's a renowned author with more than 5 published books and a quintessential public speaker. Of course, he's here with us this morning. And our topic this morning is Excellence Beats Prejudice. Hello. Good morning. How are you doing?
Hello, good morning. I'm doing very well, and you?
I'm good. Excellence beats prejudice. Now, that is quite a mouthful for some people. Okay, so what exactly do you mean by excellence beats prejudice?
Awesome. I was listening to you and TT talking about a lady who wrote a book, and it just ties into what I was going to talk about. And the first person that came to mind when I was thinking about these was Michael Jackson several years ago. It was a time when black people couldn't be on television. It was a time when you couldn't put people of color anywhere near the screen. But one day, Michael Jackson had a song in his hand, took it to a studio, took it to the producer, and the producer, first of all, rejected it. So what he did was to retweak the song, and it was the best ever. By the time he took it back, the producer this time around couldn't resist the song, and he took a risk and he had to play the song, despite the fact that he was a person of color. That was the beginning of a big break for Michael Jackson. So it was his excellence that actually put aside the fact that he was a person of color at the time when nobody played anything from anyone who had a different color if you weren't white. So excellence actually beats prejudice. And if you actually bring it down home, think about the young lady who just passed on, unfortunately, the lady who was able to fly a fighter jet to Italy. Look at how young she was, and she was already a pilot. And at the time when people would think, oh, you're a lady, you're too young, you're too this, you're too that, she was already flying a pilot. In the United Kingdom, there's a gentleman called Engineer Bayo Ogunlesi. Engineer Bayo Ogunlesi is a Nigerian who bought 2 international airports, including the Gatwick International Airport, the busiest airport in the United Kingdom, bought over by a Nigerian. And this same Nigerian is actually a special advisor to President Donald Trump as we speak. What's the point here? There are people of color all over the world who are doing amazing things, who are doing fantastic things. You probably know about Philip Emeagwali. You probably have heard about maybe Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, who is also an Indian. So the point is, when you say, oh, they're doing this because I'm not white, they're doing this because I'm black, they're doing this because I'm from this tribe, I'm from that tribe, I'm from this race, I'm from this country, some of those things can be true. But when you build yourself to a level of excellence, it wouldn't matter what people think about you. It wouldn't matter what their opinion is. Once they see the quality of the work that you're bringing on board, what you bring to the table, if it is irresistible, your color wouldn't matter. If you bring something to the table and it is something that everybody needs and they know they cannot do without this thing, then your name, your background, your age, your gender, all of those things suddenly become inconsequential. It is when they can resist what you're bringing to the table that they can bring in all those other things. They say, oh, this person is a woman, or is a young man, or is a young lady, is black, is from this tribe. No. Excellence beats prejudice. And that's why you as an individual need to ensure that whatever you're doing is top notch. Whatever you're doing, you put in your best, so much so that everybody who sees it, they can say, look, this, I don't like you, but I like your work. Or I don't, have you ever seen bosses who will tell you, I'm sorry I have to say this, I don't like you, but you're damn good at what you're doing. So it's important to get to that point where excellence just takes away every other prejudice, and they don't have a choice other than to admit that even though I don't like you, I don't like your people and all of that, but you are really good. That's what we're talking about.
Wonderful, wonderful. Considering that, with all the protests happening around the world, the Black Lives Matter movement and all of that, a number of people would still tell you, they'll still insist that, look, they've tried their best at what they do, they've gotten to the top of a chain or whatever, but then they are still maybe subjugated or something like that. They are still, prejudice can be strong, especially when it is something that is generational, when it's something that has been there for quite a very, very long time. You understand what I'm talking about?
I certainly do. And the prejudice, now notice that I didn't say excellence will exonerate or annihilate prejudice. It's not going to take it away. But what happens is that you're able to silence everybody in the room because they see the quality of your work, they see what you're doing, they see how good you are at what you do. And I've seen people put to shame. I saw a short video online some weeks back, and a gentleman, because he was black, was accosted, and they said, "Look, turn around, we're going to arrest you." And the gentleman kept asking, "What are you arresting me for? Why are you arresting me?" Do you know the white guys who were trying to arrest this gentleman were eventually shocked when he surrendered himself to be arrested, and they reached into his pocket for his ID, only to find out that he was a CIA agent. So they were very surprised. Now, what we're saying is the prejudice will continue. We don't have a choice about that. There's nothing we can do to stop the prejudice, and that's the reality. However, you can silence everyone based on your excellence. There's nobody who will see the quality of work, the amazing work you have done so far, or the level of wisdom that you display. Today, we've seen President Barack Obama become president of the United States. People didn't like blacks, but he became president. Was it by emotions? No, the guy just sweet talked everybody into believing that he was going to be the best president ever. Until today, people are still wishing that he was in the White House because he was damn good. He was really good at what he was doing. So, excellence is something that we all have to strive for. Excellence is something that we have to work at. Excellence is something that you and the way you get to that excellence is, take for example, I have people telling me that you're doing well, you're doing fantastic, and I tell them, look, to you I'm doing well, but I know my capacity, and I know I'm not doing half of what I'm supposed to be doing. It's not that you're not taking their complimentary remarks, but you're simply telling yourself, if I sit down based on what they've told me so far, then I'm not going to attain my best. You've got to keep telling yourself, I'm not there yet. I can be better than this. I can go further than this, until you get to that point where everybody does not have a choice other than to say, you are the best. I've seen people, but you are really the best. So at that point, even the people who don't like you on the basis of prejudice would not have a choice other than to say, I give it to you. You are the best indeed.
Wonderful. Let me just get a few pointers. You've spoken so much about excellence and all of that.
Yeah.
How can it be attained? Just a very, very few points. Attainment of excellence. From your own perspective, how can excellence be attained?
I just gave you one first point towards attaining excellence. People will give you compliments. People will tell you that you're good. People will tell you that you're doing well.
Yeah.
And
So no,
stuff like that.
I mean, on your own part,
Yes,
what
yes.
do you do?
What
are those things?
That's what I'm about to say. The first thing is, don't ever rest on your oars, no matter how much you have achieved. Don't ever rest on your oars, no matter how much you have achieved. Then number two, be open to feedback. When people give you reviews on what you have done, don't say, oh, they're giving me this bad feedback, they're giving me the poor reviews or poor ratings just because they don't like me. Take, for example, one of the ways I have come this far is that when people correct me, I don't feel bad about it. I remember several years ago when I was coming up, I remember the first person who corrected me several years ago that the word, I used to muddle up my words. I used to butcher some words, and someone would walk up to me and say, no, it's not that. That's not how to pronounce it. And I never felt bad, whether it was in public or in private places. Someone told me several years ago, it's not magazine, it's magazine. When I thought it was fashionable to say magazine. And someone told me, I'm trying to remember some of those other words. And the funny thing is that I remember those people that corrected me on those things. So when you are corrected, be open to correction. Don't ever be satisfied with mediocrity. No matter how good you think it is, if there's something better out there, then it means that there's room for improvement. So I always have it in my mind that there's room for improvement. For example, you said I've written over 5 published books. I've actually done 13 books. And people say, wow, you've done 13 books. And I say to myself, that's not where I am. I have over 25 book projects. And I keep saying to myself, I've not done enough because I'm supposed to have written 25. And out of the 25, I've only written 13. But someone else hears, oh, he's done 13 books, and they go gaga about it. So you never give yourself the thumbs up because you think, oh, this is how far you can come. It doesn't mean you shouldn't encourage yourself. Encourage yourself over every progress you are making, but keep telling yourself, I can do more, I can do better. This is not the best. Look at the manufacturers of phones. Why do you think they keep bringing out a new phone every year? It's because of that excellence that they are trying to attain.
Right.
They say to themselves, we can improve it.
We can improve.
So you must have that orientation that this thing can be improved and I can be better.
All right, thank you very much. It was great talking to you. And I hope our viewers, of course, were quite enlightened by that one. Have a wonderful day.